hope you're hungry, because here is a big fat plate of revenge. I CC'd my ex's boss, telling him my ex exposed sensitive info to others, etc. after my ex said I was never going to be successful without him and sabotaging my sales. It's gonna be good. This weekend, I posted some of my artwork for sale on Nextdoor, trying to get commissions to help pay for medical expenses. Everything was going well. I was getting lots of responses and interest. However, most people would disappear after the first exchange of messages, which is normal when selling online. Saturday night, I opened my email and saw a message from my ex, whom I'll call John. He saw my post and was making fun of me, saying I would have more success if I stood on the street and asked for money, and that I would never be successful without him. John seems like a lovely person. I ignored the email and deleted it, trying not to let it affect me. I messaged some of the people to follow up, and one person replied that they were no longer interested because they received a message from someone saying I wasn't a good artist and that I was crazy, so they shouldn't spend any money on me. I'm not sure how many others he might have contacted. I put two and two together, and I know it was my ex. For context, I dated him for almost 2 years. He was the biggest narcissist and came from an affluent background. His dad owned several pawn shops, so he grew up very well off. Like most relationships, ours started out well, but then it changed. He became mentally and verbally abusive. Due to all the abuse, my health declined, and he would tell me that all my illnesses were just in my mind. He would argue with me every time I went to the doctor. He was extremely controlling. I wasn't allowed to work or have friends. Ew. He was always jealous. The day I decided to leave, he shoved me really hard into the wall because I didn't want to give him my phone. He's 6'3" and I'm 5'3", so you can imagine the power difference. I left him 6 months ago. Since then, he's tried reaching out, begging me to get back together. I've been couch surfing at friends' places for a few months, but recently I moved in with my best friend and her parents. They have a little suite that they're letting me rent out. The problem is, it's in the same area as my ex. Please protect yourself. Like, I'm scared for you. I barely go out, so I doubt I'll run into him by chance, but he knows that I'm in the area. Back to this weekend. I'm so angry because I'm doing my best to seek medical help and survive, and he's here sabotaging all the efforts I'm making to force me to go back with him. I'm not proud of what I did because I know it was impulsive, but since he emailed me from his work email, and I know who his boss is, I used to do my ex's work. I CC'd his boss, attaching his previous email and telling the boss if he knew that John shares sensitive company information with friends and I did XYZ work John was never supposed to do. Since then, I've received a few calls about no caller ID from my ex. He left voicemails saying that I need to deny the email or he'll get fired, blah, blah. Edit. For those asking how did he know who to message, on Nextdoor people can like heart or whatever, just like Facebook, and people can comment just like Facebook. I had over 30 people comment that they were interested and wanted details in the comments. Some private messaged me, but the minority reached out in the comments. So he just messaged them right from the comments. All right. Do we agree with this form of revenge? Do we think it's too much? Do we think that she should deny the email? Let me know. Moving on to overcharged me at the nail salon and led to chaos. Oh no. I've seen some crazy TikTok like nail salon fights, man. There was this one in Toronto it made the news. Absolutely wild. I got my nails done this morning at the same nail salon I've been patronizing for almost 2 years. It has 1,000+ great reviews online, and they have always done amazing work. They don't post their prices anywhere, but I've always paid $40 to $50. However, it hasn't been consistent, as sometimes I would be asked to pay $50 and other times later $40. When I asked about the price, usually when it was $50, they would say I got a nice discount at $40 and the standard was $50. The $10 never bothered me, so I never made a fuss about it, and I kind of chalked it up to be more inexperienced front desk workers not tracking well to the established price. I have always gone into the habit of asking the price before they start, but forgot to ask this morning because I was just getting my normal nails. Today, I finished up my appointment and the front desk told me it was $70. I was surprised because I got them done last month and I'm pretty sure it was only $40. The lady said prices went up, which I felt should have been stated somewhere, but I know that businesses are nervous about the economy, so I understand a hike. I paid my bill and internally decided to find a new salon, not because they did anything wrong, but paying $70 for nails isn't worth it for me while there are cheaper places around, given the quality will almost definitely decrease. After I paid, I realized I left something at my seat. I had been quietly chatting with the lady sitting next to me during our appointments, and we were getting the exact same service in different colors. As I went to grab my bag, I couldn't help make a quiet comment to her that $70 for our nails is crazy. Yes, this was a complaint, but I also wanted to warn her about what to expect. She immediately got agitated and asked her nail tech how it could be this much because she had never paid more than $30 for this service. She looked like she was going to cry and said she didn't have $70 for the service today. Her nail tech quickly tried to do damage control and said that since she was such a loyal customer, her price would be $30. This didn't calm her down though. She asked how long I'd been going there and I said 2 years, and she said she'd been coming for less than a year. At this point, other customers at the busy salon started paying attention to what was going on, and a few, 7 to 8 other people started sharing what they paid for their nails, and it ranged from $30 to $70. At that point, I had my bag and no reason to stay, but as I left, almost the whole salon was getting heated with everyone realizing that they actually don't have a set price for their services and just charge as much as they can get out of you. I will definitely be leaving a review, and something tells me that others there will as well. I've seen a lot of nail salons do that where they'll give a little bit of a discount for their returning customers that go to them every month for years on end. But that can get messy. That is a risk you are taking, because the second other people find out, yeah, it's not gonna be good. That's why I started doing my nails on my own, as you guys know. Right at home. I need to do them, don't look too close. I'm gonna do a fun like Eastery spring set next. If you guys follow my shorts channel, you can help pick them. I do a nail challenge, so go watch my shorts, okay? Don't F with the person who lives above you. Words to live by. Hello Reddit. So I've lived in my building for over a year now, and the first people I befriended live directly below me. Let's call them J and E. I work as a chef full time, whilst E games all night and sleep all day because her anxiety makes it too hard for her to work, apparently. Anyway, a few weeks ago, Jay changed jobs and was running low on money, going from weekly to monthly pay, and asked to borrow £30. Not a huge deal. I, of course, said no worries, thinking we are friends and we live in the same building, so everything would be fine. He promised to pay me back in 1 week. He did not. Second late week, I texted him multiple times nicely and was completely ignored. I don't want to start drama in the building or anything, so I hatched a plan. The new buildings in England are basically built out of cardboard, and you can hear all of my footsteps. I'm the top floor. So since I moved in, I've learned to be very gentle with my steps, to be a good neighbor. However, after the theft, I ran everywhere. I ran everywhere. I leaped from my bed each morning at 6 a.m. like a flying hippo to crash upon the floor, shaking it. I stomped every step. I shuffled. I even played and chased and got chased by my 7 kilogram cat, to his joy. I made so much noise every morning that I even started to feel a little guilty. I'm just picturing the surveillance footage of him in his house, prancing and leaping around like a gazelle every morning. It only took 6 days before he texted me at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning asking what my bank details were so he could transfer it over. Winning! Don't steal from the people who live directly above you. We control your sleep and general peace, you absolute muppets. Where's the logic? Edit. Guys, stop telling me not to lend out money. I won't see anyone struggle to eat. I just didn't think they were dumb enough to piss off their upstairs neighbor. Hey, and you got your money back. I guess it is a win. And now you don't have to leap around, although you can. Next up, great clip stylist sent me to the back of the line, so I spammed their waitlist. I always get my hair cut at Great Clips because of their online check-in feature. I can check in online and arrive when it's my turn, so I never have to wait more than a few minutes. That is the entire point of this system. Today I checked in online and the wait was only listed at 1 minute. I've used their system plenty of times, so I know that this isn't an issue. I'll just head over there and I'll be the first in line when I get there. I know that they hold your name on the list for a while, and anyone else can jump me in line if it's their turn before I get there. It took me a couple minutes to get out the door and then 10 to 15 minutes to drive there. So it was probably 20 minutes from the time I checked in online to the time that I walked in the door. When I walked in, I saw my name at number 1 on the list as I expected. The stylist at the desk asked if I was Adam, who was number 3 in line, and the only other name on the list who hadn't arrived yet. I said, no, I'm my name, and gestured to the screen indicating that that's me on the list. She asked me for my phone number, which is weird because I entered my phone number when I checked in, and told me I could take a seat. Right away after hanging up my jacket, I noticed that my name had disappeared from number 1 and gone down to number 6 at the bottom of the list. The stylist had gone back to cutting hair, but I tried to get her attention and said, that was my name at the top of the list before. At first, she just ignored me, but when I repeated myself, she said, I checked you in. You can have a seat. When I clarified, my name was at number 1 on the list before, she replied, you must have timed out, so it puts you at the end of the line, or something like that. This has never happened to me before, and I truly wasn't abusing the system, but I wasn't in the mood to beg for my spot back in line, and I was pretty sure the employee knew what she was doing. So I just grabbed my jacket and walked out without another word. When I was leaving, she said, it'll just be a few minutes, it's fine, but I just kept walking. I then proceeded to get my hair cut elsewhere. At another Great Clip, LOL, I sure showed them. I was still irked about losing my spot in the first place, so I checked in online under a bunch of fake names using characters from a TV show. I made the salon's apparent wait time shoot up to over an hour. I have no idea if this really would impact other people's behavior, but I might have cost them a customer or two. Okay, I don't know why that just felt way too dramatic for me. Like, I don't know if I don't think I would be that bothered by that. I might leave and say, okay, like I'm just gonna go somewhere else and get my hair cut, but that feels a little dramatic, even for me, someone who's very dramatic. So let me know your thoughts though. We're hopping on. Hydration station. Matt, you gotta drink your water. Okay. Cheers. Next up, tell me you won't renew my contract on my birthday. I'll hack your soda machine. How do you hack the soda machine? I remember in high school, we used to shake the machines really hard until things fell out. Terrible. Do not steal. I had my first real job at a supermarket about 20 years ago as a stock girl, where I started right after my 16th birthday, when you can legally work evenings in my country. I made barely any money, but did make a lot of friends, worked hard, and I loved it. The boss was not a good employer. He regularly made us stock until after midnight, around the holidays, even 2 a.m., which is very illegal for 16 and 17-year-olds, etc. What happened to us a lot was that when you became 18, your wages got a little bit higher by law, and that's when you would get fired. I knew chances were that I would be out too, but when he passed by me while I was stalking and said, "Happy birthday, meet me in my office in 15 minutes, I thought I might have a shot at another year because he never fired anybody on their birthday before. Oh no. Maybe he would renew me as a gift. He didn't. I was informed I could work the final 2 weeks of my contract and then I would be out. Time for my petty revenge. This was also the era where the old soda and candy machines slowly got replaced with more modern digital ones. The break room had one of those old soda machines, which the boss stocked with soda cans that soon would be or were recently out of date, so he could still make money on them and us. Giant brand name on the front. 6 to 8 buttons in a row from top to bottom on the side for choosing, and a money slot. You probably know them. I had learned on the internet that when you press the top 4 buttons in the right corner, you would get in the secret manufacturer menu where you could mess around with the settings. I was smart about it. If I made the cans free, he would just figure it out fast, as there would be no cans, but also no coins. So I got the machine to give 2 cans for the price of 1. I myself could only profit from my revenge for 2 weeks, but it felt good that I could leave my friends behind with sodas for 25 cents a piece. Also teaches it to a trusted friend in case it was changed back. Heard through the grapevine that the boss did find out later that year that someone messed with the machine, but as cameras in break rooms were illegal, it never came back to me. Small revenge, but it still fills me with satisfaction. Coincidentally, for my next job, I had to learn how to get into manufacturing mode of different kinds of medical machines, again, by pressing buttons in the right order, so I could change the settings in what the doctors wanted for their patients. Made me feel like the universe had wanted me to mess around with that soda machine, so I would be ready. Yeah, I just shuck it. That's way smarter. You're way more intelligent. But remember those ones where the things would just fall out of like the twisty prongs? We would just shake that sucker until she fell down. Next up, she ruined my birthday. My birth mother isn't a great person. Just gonna put that out there. For my birthday one year, I think maybe my 14th birthday, she was mean about everything for no reason. She said things like, don't eat too much cake, you don't want the extra few pounds, that's all you have planned because you don't have many friends. I planned to see a movie, having ice cream, and going to the bowling alley afterwards. Apparently she had already seen the movie because she told me all about the movie that I was about to see. Later that night, she was at the bowling alley. She got very loud and drunk. She talked very explicitly and got up to leave with 2 men. Okay. As she was leaving, she said, my daughter is OP. Don't tell her I'm leaving with these guys. So everyone's made fun of me for having a sexually promiscuous birth mother. The day after my birthday, I went to her house to confront her about ruining my birthday. She said more hurtful things. So fine. I gathered up maybe 15 or so crickets and let them loose in her bedroom. Ugh. The first night I could hear the crickets, but she did nothing. Second night, same thing. The next day I caught her looking at her bedroom window and asked her what she was doing. She said nothing and told me to go away. Next night she was angry and said I needed to go outside and stop the crickets from chirping. Yeah, I'll get right on that. I wasn't quite sure how to do that, so I grabbed a drink, a snack, and a book. I spent a while outside reading and snacking, came back inside and told my birth mom I squished every cricket that I could find. She said good. The morning I woke up to her sleeping on the couch. She was on the phone with one of her friends, later telling her friend how horrible it was to get no sleep because all she could hear were crickets all night long. She caught me smiling and she accused me of doing something. I said, I'm not sure what you mean, but if I did do something, it would be well deserved and then some for ruining my birthday and having school peers bully me because my mom left the bowling alley with 2 guys. She got very angry and kicked me out. I went to go and live with my grandmother again, where I told her what happened. She told me that was a bad thing to do and then cheered pop cans with me and smiled. I mean, you know it's bad when your grandmother is siding with you. I don't think she's very proud of mom's behavior. Next up, made a moocher have to pay. I, 36 male, have a group of good friends from my last job that I still see regularly. We've all moved on to other jobs, but still try to hang out every few months or so, depending on everyone's schedule. It's nothing fancy, usually just grab a bite to eat somewhere and catch up. The problem came at the end of last year. One of my friends became good friends with his coworker. I'll call him Mike. Mike has slowly joined our friend group and has gone out to eat with us twice now. Now, Mike is a great guy by all accounts, except he has expensive taste and tries to let's split the bill evenly, even if he's ordered more than everyone else. First time it happened, whatever, it wasn't too bad. The second time he ordered a full $20 more than everyone else. I should have stood my ground, but I'm too much of a people pleaser. It's something that I'm working on. Well, I recently got a raise at work and wanted to celebrate with my friends. I suggested we go to a steakhouse for lunch. That way people could order off the lunch menu without spending too much. As soon as I mentioned it, Mike loved the idea. What a shocker, right? I've been seeing a bunch of posts lately about this sort of thing, and the overwhelming comment is to tell the server ahead of time that we will all be splitting the bill. So this is exactly what I did. We went out for lunch and everybody ordered reasonable lunch dishes except Mike. He got the steak and lobster. Since I was on the other corner of the table, I got to order last. Because I ordered, I asked everyone at the table if they were okay ordering separately. I wanted to splurge since I was celebrating and didn't want to make everyone else pay for it. Everyone was on board with it except for one person. I'll let you guess who that was. While we were all eating and catching up, Mike barely spoke to me. I think he was upset that he had to pay for his full meal. Oh well, it made my prime rib taste that much better. I mean, come on now. We're adults. We're gonna pay for our own meal. I understand splitting the bill amongst friends and stuff, but when you're the one ordering more than everyone, I didn't even get to enjoy what I'm paying for at that point. You ate it. Next up, cause an accident because you're too special to wait in line. That's cool. I'll be a witness for the other driver's insurance. I have to make a left turn at an intersection where the line to make that turn backs up at least half a mile every workday. It's about a 15-minute wait when it's bad and about 10 minutes in normal traffic. A lot of people skip that line and cut off drivers who wait patiently to turn. It gets hazardous when those same idiots literally force their way into the turn lane regardless of another vehicle already existing in that space. Early last week, some dipshit literally just shouldered my car out of the way. They saw me, they heard my horn, they kept merging. I avoided that accident and carried along with my day, although I was incredibly irritated. 3 days later, some dipshit tries the same thing on the truck behind me. A woman in a mid-sized sedan decided that she was going to get in the left lane, come hell or high water. Unfortunately for her, the lane she was probably merging into was already occupied by a full-size pickup. She probably would have realized that if she had looked where she was going, but she didn't. She hit the truck, of course. It damaged her car, of course. Nothing major, just knocked her mirror off. I watched the whole thing because that truck was directly behind me. Her head never turned. She was looking straight ahead as she collided with the truck. Something about her body language and the fact that she pulled her phone out to record the truck after the accident was caused told me that she was a Karen. I just knew she was going to lie her ass off to avoid fault. Now, my tiny bit of petty revenge. I gave the truck driver my cell number, told him I saw it, and offered to share my observation with the cops or insurance company. That was not the same car that almost hit me earlier in the week, but it was the same entitled attitude. The truck driver's insurance called me the next day, and I told them exactly what I saw. It was enough information to exonerate the truck driver and put fault on the person in the sedan. I don't know what happened after that, and I really don't care. I got my petty revenge against one of those drivers. Would you guys do that? I for sure would. If they were blatantly wrong, 100%. I mean, you are just the witness to that, and you're telling the truth. You're not doing anything else but telling the truth. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.